Welcome to News Tonight. I'm Rod Ngonzi. Let's take a look at the top stories for the night. President Yoweri Museveni receives envoy's credentials. Disaster management asks for 20 billion shillings. While FDC takes over iPod leadership. And in sports, Cranes prepares for Sikafa Senior Challenge. Hello once again, Mugalu Mohammed joins us on sign language. President Yoweri Museveni has received credentials of 9 new ambassadors that have been accredited to Uganda by their respective countries. In separate ceremonies at State House in Entebbe and witnessed by Foreign Affairs Minister Sam Kutesa, the president received letters of credence from envoys of Norway, Denmark, Burundi, Italy, Argentina, Botswana, Austria, Qatar and New Zealand.
President Yoweri Museveni has received credentials of 9 new ambassadors that have been accredited to Uganda by their respective countries. In separate ceremonies at State House in Entebbe and witnessed by Foreign Affairs Minister Sam Kutesa, the President received letters of credence from envoys of Norway, Denmark, Burundi, Italy, Argentina, Botswana, Austria, Qatar and New Zealand. The President and the Norwegian ambassador, Ms. Elinor Stebo, discussed regional issues, particularly the peace process and challenges in neighboring South Sudan. He informed the envoy that Uganda and Sudan, which have the role of guarantors of peace in South Sudan, have agreed to monitor the situation in that country. Welcoming the Danish ambassador, Mr. Nikolai Abraham Heiberg Patterson, the president recalled Denmark's help to Uganda in the 1980s when the Nordic country gave Uganda milk coolers. He requested the new envoy to solicit for a Danish company that could fabricate milk coolers locally so that Uganda is enabled to boost further her growing dairy industry. Ambassador Patterson revealed that Denmark will collaborate with Uganda in the sectors of education and refugees.
I have the honor to present to you the new ambassador of the Republic of Burundi to Uganda, Her Excellency Epifani Ntamwana Kabusheme.
Later, President Museveni received credentials of the new Burundi envoy, Ms. Epifani Ntamwana Kabusheme. They discussed matters of bilateral nature between Uganda and Burundi.
The potential of the Republic of Italy to the Republic of Uganda.
The President congratulated the new Italian envoy, Mr. Massimiliano Mazzanti, upon his appointment and commended the friendly and cooperative relations that exist between Italy and Uganda. President Museveni and the new Argentine ambassador, Mr. Gomez Bustillo, discussed the progress and challenges pertaining to the beef industry in the Latin American country in particular and worldwide markets as a whole. The envoy told President Museveni that Argentina will soon expand beef exports. He also revealed that Argentina has the technology to build and install nuclear power stations. President Museveni later welcomed the new Botswana High Commissioner to Uganda, Mr. Gobopang Duke Lefoko, and wished him the best in the execution of his duties in the country. Receiving the letters of credence of the new Austrian ambassador, Mr. Roland Heuser, President Museveni commended the Central European country for the restoration of water supply to Kampala city immediately after the NRM government came to power in 1986.
Your Excellency, to present my credentials as Ambassador of the State of Qatar in the Republic of...
Mr. Museveni and the new Qatar envoy, Mr. Jabir bin Ali Al-Dosari, discussed issues pertaining to enhancing investments and trade between the two countries. Later, President Museveni and the New Zealand High Commissioner, Mr. Mark Raphael Ramsden, discussed matters of mutual interest between their two Commonwealth member countries.
Your government and the good people of Uganda, the best of health.
UBC TV, Harriet Nambi.
Have been cited as one of the main factors in limiting disaster management in Uganda. Minister for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, Engineer Hilary Onek, says 20 billion shillings is required to fund emergency disaster management. He made the remarks while meeting a delegation from China led by the Deputy Director General of China International Center for Economic and Technical Exchanges, Zhang Yi.
Torrential rains have been a source of misery in many regions of the country, with some areas having disastrous effects. The latest evidence to this is the blockage of water pipes caused by heavy rains that emaciated the eastern district of Mbale, affecting water flow. Residents have cried foul, wondering if there is a way government can save the situation.
They should come either to relocate us, or before relocating, at least they should maybe provide for us those, at least what we can use for, because you can see our gardens have been washed away. Hunger has started striking us. Diseases are almost also striking us. So we appeal to NGOs, to whoever is concerned, to come to our rescue.
The emerging cracks in some areas of this Elgon region spell a looming disaster. This could lead to destruction of life and property, like it has been the case in some other areas, including Saka Bridge in Kalido district. Business has since come to a halt, with calls to government for necessary intervention. But assessments are reportedly being conducted to find a long-lasting solution, one of which being disaster forecasting technology.
And that is now our goal to work on, to see that we have a system in place that would continue to maintain organized management of disasters as they come into the country.
The disaster department could have been slightly more prepared for such calamities, but one challenge remains visible: limited resources.
With the flood, all the latrines and all those wastes get mixed up in the water that people take and consume. So we need to protect their lives, and those are the immediate needs, which is estimated at about 20 billion.
This challenge could soon be dealt a blow with the growing strength of a relationship between the People's Republic of China and the Republic of Uganda. Zhang Yi is the Chinese Deputy Director General of China International Center for Economic and Technical Exchanges. In the Ministry of Commerce, he and his delegation's visit to the country speaks volumes about managing disaster.
And we discussed about how we can cooperate to improve the resilience building of the Ugandan people to be more well prepared.
Those challenges are confronting us, and the Chinese have come on board to see how to support our efforts to survive under those conditions.
The Chinese first visited stores of the Office of the Prime Minister at Namamve Industrial Park. They have been instrumental in availing rice in form of food relief to disaster-stricken victims in Uganda. Henry Okurut, UBC.
Third-party Organization for Dialogue IPOD is now headed by Patrick Amuria Toboy, the president of FDC, as the new chairperson. The Democratic Party President General Norbert Mao has been the chairperson of IPOD.
We pledge our total support.
The Forum for Democratic Change is the new chairperson of Uganda political parties, a rotation office among the Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue members. Patrick Amuriat, the president of FDC, is the new chairperson of IPOD. The sessions were chaired by Gerald Islander, who said his reign been composed of ups and downs.
In a multi-party-led
parliament, you now have an idea, or people mooting an idea of a Dean of Independence. That is a challenge that we have to confront that is distorting our party dispensation. Now, we have colleagues that are freelancing with no law, with no guidelines, with no regulations.
The incoming council chairman Dandala Mafabi mentioned the 10 points to guide his tenure.
How do we anchor the prerequisite multi-party democracy necessary to secure Uganda and the Ugandan citizens? How well resources it is.
The outgoing IPOD Summit chairman Norbert Mao challenged the incoming leadership of FDC on adopting and upholding the values of IPOD.
I'll go to my grave convinced that there is nothing to stop intelligent men and women to always reach an agreement as long as they negotiate in good faith. Let us therefore leave this place with a new spirit of commitment to constructive dialogue.
The new summit chairman Patrick Amuriat of FDC reiterates on the need for trust and confidentiality among IPOD members.
To serve IPOD. Congratulations, Mr. President. Enhance cooperation, build harmony, and facilitate a smooth transition of power, especially at the level of the presidency. To my friends in the FDC, now that you are in charge, you'll find that the roads are not paved with gold. Above all, you'll find that you are required to pave the roads.
Amriat says power transition is not negotiable, but it's a must and calls for everyone's responsibility.
It is important to understand that a peaceful transition should not be at the mercy of negotiations, but a must and an obligation of the leader himself and the led.
Let us, in some cases, reduce on the friendly fire. Where possible, we discuss.
Justice James Ogola presided over the event and called political leaders to always dialogue because it is a constructive pillar for democracy.
And now we have reached the stage where the political parties themselves, on their own volition, have come to terms with the tool of dialogue as a viable, effective, and acceptable instrument towards a meaningful and constructive political dialogue.
The Interparty Organization for Dialogue, IPOD, is a forum established in 2010 with the support of the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy to promote peace, justice, and inclusive politics. However, in today's handover ceremony, the NRM party has not surfaced. Abdul Nasir Lubwama for UBC News.
And the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, at Internal Crimes Division in Kololo has withdrawn charges from 9 ADF persons accused of aiding and abetting terrorism. These were accused together with their leader, Jamil Mukulu.
9 persons accused of abetting and aiding terrorism under ADF have had their cases dropped. They had appeared before Justice Jen Chigundu at High Court International Crimes Division to start the hearing of the alleged charges. These include Chisembo Abdallah Mkwata, Adam Dini Luoza, Liavala Hamza, Ramadan Msene, Ndugwa Hussein, Faizo Wata, Ejioti Hamza, and Tukubiaku. The accused persons, through their law team, applied for compensation after being remanded for 6 years without being tried on alleged charges, though this was rejected by the trial Justice Jane Chigundu. The released persons were whelmed with joy after being remanded for 6 years, and some broke into tears.
Allahu Azza wa Jalla bwabanga asazeewo nti va mu kkomera tewali muntu ayinza kwekiika mu kkubo lyo. Ate Allahu Azza wa Jalla bwabanga asazeewo nti ogenda kusigala mu kkomera tewali muntu ayinza kugamba nti akuyambeko okuva mu kkomera n'olwekyo tuli basanyufu Allah tumwebaze.
Godfrey Turiamusima, one of the lawyers, however, accused the officer of the Director of Public Prosecution for opening such criminal offences against these people for 6 years without evidence.
At the time we have realized that DPP is in the business of committing offence. The same person who is supposed to present or represent the state is committing the offence. Among the very few offences they are committing is one, torture, at the same time the inhuman offences, but mainly the offences which do degrade the human rights of these people. But this is a sign, because somewhere they are in the same bracket. This is a sign that there is hope. At the same time, this is a sign that state does not have evidence.
Report compiled by Namamode Deborah for UBC News.
Gender-based violence continues impacting negatively on women and children, and initiatives aimed at stopping HIV/AIDS-free community Camp 2030. It is for this reason that International Community of Women Living with HIV, Eastern Africa, Ugandan Network of Young People Living with HIV, and the Alliance of Women Advocating for Change have launched a campaign to end violence against women as part of the initiatives to commemorate the 16 days of activism.
And in the interest of time, because the guest of honor is about to run.
The women activists are claiming that many acts of violence against women are going on unabated, fearing that this might fuel HIV spread.
Cannot defeat HIV/AIDS without engaging each other, by dialoguing with each other honestly, and by respecting those who are at risk and hearing their stories and feeling their pain, because from the statistics, the groups, the community groups that are at the highest risk now are sometimes the most stigmatized by us, the religious leaders.
Of gender to put in districts, at least shelters, because they are girls that would need that shelter, and especially children who are abused by their own relatives.
The women activists say that they have embarked a year to end violence against women.
HIV should not define anybody. HIV should not be a death sentence for anybody, and HIV should not deter people from accessing their human rights. And that is what we stand for, that whether HIV positive or not, people living with HIV, women living with HIV, remain human beings like anybody, and therefore they should be treated with dignity, with respect, and all their full rights must be accessible.
The Netherlands ambassador to Uganda, Henk Jan Baker, graced the launch and pledged total commitment towards ending gender-based violence.
Joint responsibility, and I say that as one of the 12 champions, to advance this cause of human rights and common values of humanity, most especially also for these vulnerable groups. I'm very, very honored and pleased to be part of the launch of the annual plan and to be one of the 12 champions.
Action to end violence against women and girls requires a community-based, prolonged approach and sustainable engagement with multitude of stakeholders. This was part of the activities marking 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Sebira Andrew compiled this report.
Let's take a break. We'll return with more details. You're watching News Tonight.
She had was a smile through the raging tides in the stormy wind, and the sounds of war.
a child, she'll learn to get a hold of freedom. Now hear sing a
Did you know that 1,000 Ugandans get HIV every week? Did you know that each week 500 people die of AIDS in Uganda? HIV is still with us. In 2017, President Museveni launched the Fast Track Initiative to end AIDS in Uganda by 2030. We must stop HIV. The best way for young people to avoid HIV is to abstain from sex.
Why you even had to have sex at 16, at 18, at 20, and then you die, or you start having problems, which you may live with all your life? Why don't you wait, hold on, you study, finish your degree, and then you look for a partner at the right time?
Protect yourself. Abstain from sex until you are ready.
This weekend on UBC.
My name is Nkaiv Hannington, winner of the NSSF Friends with Benefits Season 2.
Congratulations, Hannington!
I used my winnings to boost my agricultural production and give a chance to the people in my community to work.
So join us this year for the third season of the NSSF Friends with Benefits, as 16 Ugandans share inspirational stories on how they use their NSSF benefits to do life-changing things. So tune in every Sunday with your host, Gaetano, and I, and special new host, Uncle D. It's another incredible display. It's the NSSF Friends with Benefits.
And that's not all. You have the power to vote for your favorite stories to win up to 55 million shillings, just like Huntington. This show is brought to you by
NSSF, a better life.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Tonight. I'm Rhoda Ngonzi, and on sign language, Magalu Mohammed. Now on business news, a high-level delegation from the People's Republic of China, led by the Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Vincent Sempija, has visited Kehong, China, Uganda Agricultural Cooperation Industrial Park in Luwero District. Here, the Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries launched a new rice variety from China called paddy. Let's take a look.
Kechong China-Uganda Agricultural Cooperation Industrial Park is established in Luwero District. Situated on over 600 acres of land, Kechong Industrial Park has demonstrated excellence in the cultivation of rice. A high-level delegation from the People's Republic of China and senior government officials led by Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Vincent Wamulanga Sempija, visited Kehong, China, Uganda Agricultural Cooperation Industrial Park and launched a new hybrid rice variety from China called paddy.
Then other farmers will learn from here or will copy from here and then also start growing the same crop. But also this farm would act as an avenue for marketing, an avenue for bulking the products from around the farmers, bulk it here and then market it. Because for these people, they know the market. They know where the market is. Our farmers don't know where the market is. They know when to produce, when to supply, in which quantities.
This new rice variety has been launched at a time when President Yoweri Museveni is opposed to the growing of rice in wetlands.
One of the things I want to change, I don't like this swamp rice. Because swamp rice here is dangerous. Because they grow it in the Nile tributaries. What they call swamps are actually not swamps. They are tributaries of the Nile. They are branches of the Nile. So they dry those branches, and I want to stop it. So what I like, I don't know this rice you are talking about, whether it can grow on dry land or irrigated land. I don't mind irrigation, but I don't like growing rice in the swamp.
They should be advised to do other things other than rice growing, like fish farming is acceptable. You can do fish farming in a correct way, and you don't harm the environment. You don't injure that environment. So you can do fish farming. Instead of rice, you can do something else.
So we have addressed the need of pressure under irrigated area by providing varieties that perform well and have equal qualities for production under upland condition.
Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries is in advanced stages of upscaling the irrigation systems to reduce dependence on rain-fed agriculture. Report compiled by Gloria Gwitabinji for UBC News.
And over 400 youth in Kamocha, Kampala, Sabab have received a donation of over 40 million shillings from musical promoter Charles Oremo, alias Sipapa, who is currently drumming up support for President Museveni and the NRM party at large ahead of the 2021 general elections. Sipapa, who recently visited President Museveni, says he has been tasked together with his colleagues to render support to individuals and organized groups who are willing to uplift their standards of living in Kampala and other parts of the country. Let's take a look.
awe Kamocha bangamba Sipapa mwana tuli bubi twagala tuyaba naye mbabuuza gundi omubaka omutaba yamba munange feno batusulawo ningamba kale ngo baba basulawo nja kufuna obudde nje nkoleki nje mbayambe kushegera kati mbadde mpita ayitamu leero nga ngenda kulaba oli mukyala bambe ne banda bananga Sipapa nafe watusuubiza nenga nkansuke nyamba awo.
All right, fatal accidents on Ugandan roads have been a persistent problem, with reports suggesting an increase in the carnage. Victoria Motors suggests that mindset change and vehicles in good mechanical conditions is a prerequisite to bringing down numbers of road traffic accidents.
Victoria Motors to lower road traffic accident numbers by heavy vehicles in Uganda has been relaunched.
Every day our vehicles are on the road, but we know that most road accidents involve trucks, involve small cars. So for us, we are committed to improve the safety of our vehicles on the roads. So the drivers who are driving our vehicles have to be the safest on our roads.
Statistics from the Uganda Traffic Police indicate that in June 2017 alone, 53 deaths happened due to traffic accidents in only 20 days.
Irresponsible behavior is the main contributing factor to the most of the road accidents in Uganda. The World Health Organization, the one we call WHO, puts the road crashes in the third world countries as #2 killer.
Since 2017, the campaign has graduated 30 drivers in various freight driving skills that include costing, a skill that requires the driver to take advantage of the topography and the load of the truck while maintaining speed; retarder alone, a skill of reducing speed of a loaded vehicle; and eco-driving, a skill that minimizes fuel consumption and emission of carbon dioxide.
What we are trying to do is to set a standard for the Ugandan market, Ugandan truck market. We want to show the rest of Uganda the importance of having drivers trained on particular processes or activities that need to be carried out in the trucks.
As Uganda's road infrastructure develops, traffic supervisors and enforcers are challenged to put more emphasis on ensuring good mechanical conditions of vehicles and licensing only qualified drivers for their respective vehicle classes. Reporting for UBC, Wadulo Makanold in Kampala.
Now, the State Minister for Economic Monitoring in the Office of the President, Dr. Kasirivu Balteza Atwoki, has urged contractors to remunerate payment of their workers for the improvement of their welfare. Kasirivu was speaking to contractors under the Uganda Building and Civil Works Contractors Cooperative Society in Kampala.
Remuneration and training of employees working for engineering companies have been some of the recommendations made during the 26th Building and Civil Works Contractors Cooperative Society annual general meeting.
As a government, we are talking about job creation. We get money from here and there, hoping that you who get the contracts are creating jobs for our people and pay them well. So, as I monitor, I found some of you are actually not paying them well.
It is alleged that many employees working for engineering companies are not given contracts, yet it is their right. The issue of local content was also cited for Ugandans to get employment.
You who get big contracts and you are supposed to have a 30% for our local contractors, do you actually give them to our local contractors? You who are the local contractors, when you get from the big contractors, are you paid what is due to you?
The Executive Director, National Planning Authority, Dr. Joseph Muvawala, said engineering business is the least competitive in the East African region because of the infrastructure deficit.
For you to compete with Kenya and Tanzania, we must fill that deficit. I wonder whether you also know that the binding constraint to Uganda's development is infrastructure. I always laugh at people who say, yeah, why are we putting money in infrastructure? Then I say, I don't know what school you went to study.
Re-establishment of a school for engineers and drivers was also identified as key. With a vision of providing effective financial solutions, members of Uganda Building and Civil Works Contractors Cooperative Society have been tipped on the improvement of the employees' welfare. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Now, with the increased competition for beer between local companies and those that import in Uganda, local breweries are upping their game. Nile Breweries has introduced a new stout, the Nile Special Stout. Brewed from malt and roasted barley, the brand contains 100% local products. Nile Breweries shares 57% of the local market.
Nile Breweries currently consumes more than 10,000 tons of malt, and 99% of this is locally grown barley and locally malted barley. So we have barley malt, and which is enough. We have perfected the quality, and in the end, you are going to witness even more products, quality products out of this.
Value proposition is very clear. This is the first truly Ugandan stout. All the other stouts are foreign, but today we want to give our consumers the very first truly Ugandan stout. And like you heard from our brewmaster, this could actually be the first African stout in the southern part of Africa. So for us, it's very important. We are always, trying to inspire and celebrate Ugandan greatness. So this comes with a lot of acknowledgement that as Ugandans, we can actually do amazing things. Since all this was premised on delivering something that is truly Ugandan to the consumers, why not, tap into our very own truly Ugandan brand and extend it to offer our consumers, some unique experiences with their beers.
From NBS TV. My question is more of
Now, human-wildlife conflict has been one of the challenges faced by Uganda Wildlife Authority in 2019. This was highlighted during their end-of-year workshop held in Naguru, the Kampala suburb.
These are people of Difili sub-county in the parishes of Lebubu, Chinyi, Dufila and Arai in Moyo district, whose livelihoods and economic activities have been affected by wild animals, in particular elephants and hippopotamuses, believed to have crossed from Nimule National Park in South Sudan to destroy their crops.
Today you trace them here, tomorrow they change another direction. Or when they come, they divide themselves in 3 or 4 directions.
An elephant is the dangerous animal here. Even it affects our business here. With the borders, we used to ride a border, but we can't. When it's evening hour, when they're on the way, you can't assess the business.
According to the sub-county chairperson for Dufule, Mr. Maurice Vuzi, attacks by wild animals have affected the quality of life, including efforts to eradicate poverty.
This has made my people relax, because even if they dig, see elephant destroy. We took this information up to the parliament, but no action taken. Therefore, this has brought down income generating activity in terms of agriculture production.
Area members of parliament say no action has been taken, despite petitioning the Speaker of Parliament and relevant line ministers.
And within a space of 8 years, that's from 2011 to date, I have so far lobbied and brought 2 ministers. One of them was Honorable Maria Mutagambwa, who is now late. May her soul rest in peace. Then the second one is Honorable Chiwanda Joffrey. We brought these people here. They saw it for themselves how elephants have been really having distractions in this area. And at times, when it is the mango seasons, they come in big numbers and destroy all the mangoes. When it is when they see cassava is now almost ready, they come and uproot potato heaps. They try to destroy the potato heaps, and they are so destructive.
This is not the first time it has ever happened, and they have put this really issue before the previous ministers of tourism, and this issue has been presented over and over again. And it appears like the community are losing hope.
Uganda Wildlife Authority says they can't do much to animals from a different territory, apart from chasing them when called upon.
But also you need to appreciate that Nimule is in another country. It is outside our jurisdiction, and there is nothing we can do in South Sudan. It is a different country. We are responsible for national parks in Uganda, and wildlife in and outside these protected areas within Uganda. So what is happening in Nimule, really, we can't do much. There's nothing we can do about it. But at most what we can do is that when communities are faced with an invasion of some of these animals and they notify us, we can only chase them back.
Human-wildlife conflict has been one of their biggest challenges in managing wildlife, and among the key issues discussed at their end-of-year workshop with stakeholders.
Wildlife has been here before us, so some animal species even have memory that goes back to around 50 years. So what we might think that animals are invading us, but they're actually coming back to what used to be their land. So, but since UWA controls around 1/3 of the country, and we have this booming population growth, there is bound to be problems, and the problems are there, really. The most important thing to do is what UWA has been doing is to engage the community in conservation.
It is a fact that one of the challenges that we are grappling with as an authority is human-wildlife conflict. Animals stray out of the parks and they go to communities, and they cause damage to people's crops and sometimes actually injure people. Now, one of the things that we are doing right now, we are fencing off hotspots for animal crossing, but we are not going to fence all the parks. That's not going to be possible, and it's not anywhere what we think.
You may find that there are also our people who have encroached on the land of the national parks. In that way, they can't help.
Bernard Yiga, Kampala.
Now in the world of sports, Ginger Best Ronese Pool Club is one of few sports franchises that have achieved a rare feat of winning the second division title and also claiming top league owners in their debut season. The man behind all these successes, Hans Rugari, who relieves for us the club's journey and its targets.
Ron's Barn restaurant in Jinja is home to some of Uganda's finest pool players at Ron's Pool Club. The club has been in existence for about 9 years and recently joined history books, winning the Senior League on its debut in 2017. The man behind this is Hans Rugari, whose love for pool started at the now defunct Trust and Obey Pool Club.
So the players who believed in me were in Trust and Obey, Benarikam. They joined me. The likes of Mugabo Eric, the likes of Maweje Cyrus, and a few players I bought in Tandika Ronnie's Pool Club in Pia. That is when we won the trophy in 2016. Then in Tuongera Mabazanyi in 2017, the likes of Suwa Garland, the likes of Nakawada Bekare, with us and Mobirudan, then we won the championship 2017.
To get to this level, Ron's Pool Club, and in particular Hans Rugari as the main financier, faced many challenges.
Ngabatu nyoma up country and of course challenges the transport costs. We have to go to Ibanda, we have to go to Masaka. So there were challenges many, but of course I came up, I organized my boys. Yeah, we are still here.
With a pool mostly played in bars, discipline issues usually arise. But how does management at Ron's Pool Club manage to tame the players?
When you are drunk, when you are drinking, you're not supposed to be on the table, as far as I'm concerned. So, we do have refresher courses. So, through umpires, the young people get to know exactly what pool is and how it's supposed to be played.
The club that is proud to have had in its ranks players like Abubakar Nakabare, Alan Nsubga and Cyrus Maweje ensures players are inspired to benefit from their talent.
They know that now pool is no longer seems bara anymore. It's pool, you can use pool to earn a living. You can use pool to improve on the livelihood and the welfare of your life.
In the 2019 league, Ron's Pool Club is third with 29 points on the standings that are bossed by Upper Volta and Intinda Giants. On the next match day, Ron's visit Indigo, Mbale host Anchors, and Toro Tigers play Ibanda Warriors. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Meanwhile, Cranes has started its CAFA Senior Challenge Cup preparations with a single training session at the StarTime Stadium in Lugogo. 18 players stand up for the session conducted by head coach Jonathan McKinstry and his assistant Abdallah Mohiru. KCC AFC and Proline FC players who have league games to play did not show up for training. KCC AFC and Vipers Sports Club have more players on the team than other local teams. The head coach emphasized the use of local best players to help prepare for upcoming CHAN tournament. The SCAFA Senior Challenge Tournament is due on the 7th of December in Kampala. Uganda will host Kenya, Tanzania, Burundi, while Rwanda opted out, citing lack of funds to sponsor the team.
It is part of a process building towards CHAN, and ultimately CHAN is part of a process to get these boys ready for the senior national team, for the World Cup qualifiers and the African Cup of Nations. So none of it sits alone. CAFA, yes, is a tournament that we want to do well in, but it sits as part of our overall plan to develop the team. And so the things we are talking to these players about are not different than we're talking to the senior team about. So we're starting that process. Obviously, I had a couple of days with a number of these players in the regional tour game when we went to play in Katakwi. But this is really my first time to get a good sort of week and a half, 2 weeks of coaching with them as we lead into the SECAFA tournament. So it was a good start, lots of enthusiasm, lots of questions. So yeah, it's a good start.
Yeah, because this is not the first time to call me as in on the national team, because I've been under 20, under 23. So this time I hope to put up the best. I think I will perform because we are the same players who are playing the league, so we are also the same players on the national team. I think we are going. I'll put up the best, and I'll prove those people who don't believe in me, I'll prove them wrong.
And with that, let's quickly take a look at the headlines. President Museveni receives envoy's credentials. Disaster management asks for 20 billion shillings. FDC takes over iPod leadership. And in sports, Cranes prepares for SECAFA Senior Challenge. It's been lovely having your company. For now, good night. On sign language, Mugalu Muhammad, I am Rodan Gonzi.
Son of a nutcracker! We can take him.
Where did you say you were from?
Where's your mother?
My mom's in the car.
Where's your father?
He's at work.
What about your brothers and sisters?
I'm an only child.
Where do you live?
Can't tell you that.
Why not?
Because you're a stranger.
Hey, listen, I just really need a bed for the night. Hey, Elf! This is my little helper.
I have nicknamed her Lazy the Elf because she appears never to work.
I need you to pray for me.
Dear God, if you're there,
He's there.
Dad's gonna kill me when he finds out I was fired.
Up, Cupid! Up, Comet! Up! Ah! Hold on to something!
Santa Claus?
Live and in person. One night only.
Can you go ho ho ho?
I don't go ho ho ho. That's a myth.
Christmas should be about love.
I've never seen you so sentimental.
Well, maybe you don't know me that well.
Contract tonight. Tonight.
On it. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I've never seen her this happy. She's loving that everybody's here.
I hope that every Christmas
This weekend on UBC.
Now, on this show, we give you access to people who are doing magnificent things. And today, I bring to you a special gentleman. People who are into entrepreneurship.
This week, I caught up with Mr. Yesigye Brian, owner of Bravo Shoes, an export and import Ugandan company that deals in sale and production of go-back-to-school shoes.
Once you get to 30 years, 30, 40, you must mind the kind of shoes you're wearing. But in this country, people do not know.
Really?
Yes, of
Teach
course.
me.
Yes.
Teach them. How does
A lot of people
footwear
are being
have to
amputated.
do with
Of course, there's a lot of compression. You know, all your nerves are ending down on your feet. People do not know that. And once you find that your system, the neural system, is not operating very well, definitely the first challenges will come down. So that's why you see the people with diabetes, majority of them are losing their feet.
Brought to you by
Her mom sparked.